Hello guys, my name is Instructor Joe. I'm joined here with Rob of CROM USA. We're here to talk about some pistol caliber carbines. So there's a few options out there. You got the Zenith Z5, MP5 clones. You can build your own AR9s and everything. What's really standing out lately, and more affordable, and a lot less hassle-free is the Ruger PC Carbine. Now with CROM USA, he came out with a chassis system for the PC Carbine. So let me have him tell you a little bit about it while I show it off here.
What I wanted to do is I wanted to take the Ruger PC Carbine from where it was and what Ruger provided us with, basically a buffed out 1022, and I wanted to turn it into something that was more for the California and New York market that we weren't afforded by pretty much anybody in the firearm industry. I wanted something that my competition shooters could use, and I wanted something that my families could use at home. Keeping the basic takedown aspect of the rifle, but adding into all the modern ergonomics that were available to us. I made an extended magazine release. You can now use it from your trigger hand without ever having to take your hand off the trigger or off your fighting grip. And then all the features on it are kept, all untouched. So you have all your safety features on it, your action bar, everything is the same. You can even change out your magazine insert to use Ruger magazines or Glock magazines. Right now we have it configured to use Glock magazines. If you look at it right now, this is our latest handguard adapter. What I did was I created a new type of mounting system using the Magtool Zukov handguard. I really like the Zukov handguard for what it did for the AK market. On this situation, what you do is you get a whole 6 o'clock M-lock system here and a 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock M-locks. And then my Scout version that we designed actually has a rail that will mount a low profile red dot that can do a 1/3 co-witness from the rear and front sights. This thing right now, this is brand new. This is the first time I've ever put it out on it as far as even notification. I announced it this morning via social media. So what I have here in its configuration right now is 100% California legal. It's a semi-automatic 9mm magazine fed rifle. Takes a standard Glock magazine. Ready to rock and roll.
So this is really neat, man. It's a lot shorter design too, as you can compare even to my AR build. It's a lot more shorter. So I like 9mm for not only target shooting but in home defense situations too. A 9mm is just going to have a little bit less over penetration than a 5.56 for a defense rifle for your home, and a little bit less spread out than a shotgun pattern. Don't you agree?
I do. You're talking about a rifle right here as is, can be controlled by the smallest member of your household as well as the largest member of your household. The 9mm ammunition, I mean, give credit where credit's due. Every country in the world uses 9mm. It's the most advanced round scientifically that's out on the market because every single country uses it. Every military, every law enforcement, every government agency uses the 9mm in some capacity, be it in a handgun or a submachine gun. Now we have it in a full-size carbine. The mathematics and the engineering that's gone behind the 9mm projectile is advanced beyond what any other projectile is out there because it's used prolifically around the world. You can train with the rifle at 12 to 15 cents a round, and you can then transfer over to a home defense load knowing that you're going to have almost no difference in short range shooting. And from what I've been hearing about this, it's absolutely feeding everything that you want to put through it. So it's feeding hot loads, it's feeding light loads, it's got target ammunition, it's got home defense ammunition through it. The rifle platform itself, it's working. So
yeah, I've been building AR9s for a few years. I kind of know what I'm doing. This is my latest build for competitive shooting. I have a side charging handle over here. I have a featureless grip for the AR, ambidextrous safety, so it's easy for me to get to everything. But even with a nice brake on it, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to control because I don't have like the high-end JP Enterprise stuff. But also I've gone through different types of like configurations. I've been through Colt magazines, I've been through Glock magazines, and I've seen people use the Glock magazines in competition. They have the big sticks and it breaks on the classifier stage because they have to do the reloads. I myself switched to endo mags right here, so it's a little bit more easier to get to. I don't have to worry about getting new different types of magazine pouches. But with the thing about magazine changes for competition, you're inserting this, I'll show you again. You're inserting this little thing into something small right here. And you have to, depending on your grip and everything, you have to manipulate the magazine release sometimes different ways, and then hand-eye coordination doesn't sometimes match up. The thing I like about this too is that it's a little bit more set back than an AR, for a Ruger PC Carbine, mind you. So when you do your magazine changes, it's automatic right there. Nice magwell, big magwell too.
It is. I did. I blew out the magwell quite a bit. What I did though, what some people aren't going to see until they actually get this in their hands, I actually kept the external dimensions of the rifle by still increasing the magwell itself. What I did when I did this, it was purpose built so that competition people can actually still buy bolt-on magwells. For those of you that are in competition, like that big wide mouth magwell, you can actually use, I went to Tim Ubel from TACCOM 3G and I said, give me the internal dimensions of your clip-on part. He sent them to me. His magwell will actually clip directly onto my magwell and give you exponentially more magwell. So what I did here, I consider this more of like a tactical magwell. We don't change the external dimensions a whole bunch, but I maximize the internal dimensions. You go into competition, you're not afraid to go to that big wide mouth. Go grab something from TACCOM. We actually provide them as well through our own company, and it just bolts right on.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of scout type scopes. Something far end, because the further the dot is, the more accurate in my opinion. Instead of having it right here. Also, it doesn't impede with your ejection and everything, because we all know not all 9mm extract the same way, right? So with that being here, and it also keeps it zeroed with the barrel instead of like banging this around. Yeah, I didn't mess up. But yeah, so yeah, let's, you have anything else you want to go over this?
Well, the only other thing is that one of the biggest features that sets my chassis apart from the other chassis that are available on the market. My chassis is compatible with the Mossberg 500 series stock systems. What that allows you to do is you can use any Mossberg 500 stock. Right now we're using a Magpul SGA stock for this, but you can use a Mossberg 500 wood stock. You can use a Mossberg 500 AR stock adapter, put on your standard AR-15 stocks if you're in a free state that you're allowed to do that. Anything, top folding stocks, bottom folding stocks, side folding stocks, you name it. There is literally no stock that I could come up with that I couldn't put on here. SIG folding stocks, put on a SIG stock adapter for like the MCX stock adapter on the back, boom, you're right back to having an AR stock. Now you use a SIG stock on the back. Literally I could not come up with another stock on the market that's available that I couldn't put on this. So your imagination is literally your only limitation, and your pocketbook is literally your only limitation on this. The other thing is we have 2 additional handguards that we're releasing that are full aluminum. One is our low rise, which is going to be very similar to this, but it gives a monolithic rail, or it gives a top rail system that goes from the receiver to the end of the barrel. The next one is our high rise system. The high rise system will be a full inline system. It's actually designed more so that people can put suppressors on the end, and it lines up with in line with the suppressor. And that high rise actually goes all the way back with a rail riser, and it has a secondary locking feature. So rather than relying on a single lock here, it'll actually have a secondary locking feature between the 2 rails to basically a safety to keep the rifles from coming apart prematurely. Both of those are currently available, and we're actually in production of both those rails right now as well.
Nice, cool. And I don't know if you guys ever held one of these Magpul stocks on your Mossberg, but these are really nice stocks. Pretty ergonomic. You got that nice, almost pistol grip to it, but it's a real comfortable design. as opposed to your regular rifle design. It's actually, if you can hold that up so we can compare even the angle to it. So the angle of the regular rifle grip is a little bit more forward. This one's set a little bit more back, a little bit more comfortable, and pretty ergonomic, especially for me and my small hands. Oh. So you up for test fire?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool.
All right. Makes a big difference.
Yeah. Hey guys, we just got out of the range. I really like shooting this. Really nice, real smooth on the magazine changes and everything, especially for your competition shooters out there. And I don't know if it was the chassis system or just my muscle memory, but I didn't feel as much flip as I do on just a regular stock PC Carbine. Even with a brake or anything, I didn't feel much stock barrel flip at all. Yeah, really nice chassis system, man. I like it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I think a lot of the performance that you gained out of it comes from the ergonomics of using the mag pull parts. You know, having a full length handguard on there, having a more ergonomic stock on there, the shorter length of pull on the stock, you know, makes a big difference. Again, all the added features that I put inside the chassis, fortunately for me, I'm the only one that put these features into a chassis. So I'm the only one with an extended magazine release. I'm the only one that put a flared magazine well on there. My thoughts were for the competitor. My thoughts were for the active, the tactical shooter, the person with an active combat mindset about them. It's it is, as we discovered, it was a little bit heavier than a stock Ruger PC Carbine, but I think that where the weight gets put is what changes the performance as well. I mean, this thing, even with a stock trigger, I mean, and this was the most basic California, Massachusetts, New York model that we could come up with. Is, there's no threads on the barrel. It's all stock interior parts. There's no performance enhancing parts inside here, and with the scout rail on top, 2 eyes open, point and shoot just like you would with a standard combat rifle. This thing performed. You can't talk bad about Glock magazines. They work every single time. It performed as I expected. Maybe even say that it performed a little bit better. So, little Ruger ingenuity, mag pull performance, and then some dumb guy from Northern California decided to put it all together.
Right. So what's the price point on something like this?
Well, the mag pull parts are standard mag pull parts. There is some modification to this part here specifically. The chassis right now are listed MSRP price $325 at CROMUSA.com. And like I said, the chassis comes with the chassis in its current configuration with the right side extended magazine release, as well as a placeholder on the left side. So if you decide to change over, we do sell the left side left side magazine release as well. The high-rise handguards MSRP price right now is $250 for the high-rise. That includes the rear rail riser. The low-rise handguard sells it right now $200, and I'm going to try and get the Scout and the Minimalist at about $150 and lower. So probably about $150 for the Scout, which will include the rail here for the Scout rail, and the Minimalist, which will be a very, very clean cut version, right about the $125 mark. And that includes the mag pull handguard with the adapter pieces on the inside and all the modifications that are required, that are expertly machined into the handguard itself, so it looks seamless the way it's put together.
Yes. Still cheaper than building an AR9.
Absolutely.
So you know.
way cheaper than an AR9. The performance value is there. Glock magazines, cheaper than most magazines. I mean, you can find them on sale almost anywhere. And now with all the competitors that are out there, ETS, I think Hex Mag makes a Glock magazine now. You know, everybody's making Glock magazines. You can find them in the neighborhood of $9 to $11 on any given Sunday. So it's you know, as much as this cost and the performance value, you know, when you compare it to the AR market, you're still way under what even an entry level AR would be at. So it's definitely form and function over cost here. I mean, this is you are getting a lot of rifle, a lot of performance, a lot of comfort out of a rifle that, you know, doesn't take very much out of your pocket. So big bonuses.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for showing up, and it's always nice trying to have some more people in here. Try to get
I love being part of the community. You know, I'm born and raised here, so I'm ready to take care of us.
All right. Cool. Well, this is Instructor Joe, and happy shooting.